Good day, it's Tony Fortunato from the technology firm. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about application comparison. This topic spans many disciplines, everything from PC to network to servers to application developers to troubleshooting to design to you name it. Basically, this boils down to, in this scenario, comparing an application or various applications on a computer to either prove, disprove, or document performance. All right. I know it's a big mouthful, but you'll get the hang of it in just a bit. So here's the scenario. The client complains that when they save a file, it takes a long time. Well, I'm sure you've heard that one before. I noticed that they're using an older version of the application, so I thought I would compare versions using Wireshark. In this particular company, they actually had a choice to remain with the older version or go with the newer version. The newer version was part of their Windows 10 refresh, and there's still people with Windows 7. And they were worried that there's going to be compatibility issues, that sort of thing. So they said, no, don't touch anything, leave it the way it is. When we get 10, we'll get the new software. So the key point here is that the issue involves saving or writing to a network drive. And that's a key point, because when you talk about application performance, you have to try, this is a big try to isolate if the problem is when you're reading or when you're writing. It could be both, right? But in some cases, I'm going to say most cases, you'll find it's an issue going one way rather than the other, a read versus a write, that kind of thing. So my first test was simple: drag and drop a file from my local hard drive to the same network drive, and now I have a baseline. And what I did was I used Windows 7 as that baseline. I didn't want to touch 10 yet because they don't have 10, so I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but you will see some references to 10 throughout the write-up. I also used in Wireshark this display filter, SMB2 period write period flags equals 000, and that I used to isolate and highlight the write commands in the trace file instead of having to muddle through them manually. So little things like that make life easy. Now here's the baseline Windows 7 client to the server, and you can see drag and drop gives me 65K writes to the server. If you want to take this a step further, sure, make sure that you don't have a lot of latency. So make sure you have your delta time up. Make sure you don't have a lot of retransmissions if it's all local, or drop packets or that kind of thing, right? In this case, I'm just going to focus on the actual write length request. That's all I'm going to talk about today. So then I use the application, we'll call it version 9 on Windows 7, and you clearly see it's 1,600 bytes. We've already kind of proved everything we needed to know right now, basically, because this was Windows 7 to server, 65K, same server, same client, 1,600 bytes. And again, if you really want to get technical, they're both using SMB2, which is both TCP. Like, the protocols are the same as well. Now we're going to go up to app version 10 on Windows 10. So this is part of the upgrade, right? So we had 1,600 on Windows 7. Now the new version 10 on Windows 10, it's 8,820. So it's still better, right? Still not as good as 65K we saw before. Now here's the interesting kind of twist. As I saw their workflow and what they did, I asked them, why do they use this one piece of software? And they said, all we needed to do is this. And it was a very specific, I'm going to say, task. And then I said, well, there's other applications that can do that are a lot more current, that aren't homegrown, and you'll probably get better support. So I got this software. Again, it doesn't matter what it is, right? So I got this software, put it on the machine on Windows 7, and I saved that file to the server, and 65,536. So that's with Windows 7, right? Because we found out Windows 7 natively could do 65K, but with the app it only did 1,600 bytes. Okay, so now we're back up to 65K, which is kind of nice. And then I said, well, using a different application on Windows 10, what does that look like, this other app, right? And it was huge, 882,000 byte writes. So this application, this alternative application, far outperforms the current software that they're using right now. So what does this boil down to? Well, time to save that file using version 9 on Windows 7 took about 2 minutes. Time to save the file using version 10 on Windows 10 was 1.3 minutes. And the time to save using that other application, that alternative one on Windows 10, was only 48 seconds. And these people save files non-stop all day long. So the difference between 48 seconds and 2 minutes adds up tremendously fast. So I presented my findings to the group, and I told them, I said, my personal suggestion, if all you need to do is task ABC and this other software can do it, and it does it far more efficiently than the current software that you're using, which they've complained lacks support and all this other stuff, well, go to the alternative software. And even when you go to Windows 10, you only get a marginal increase in performance with the existing software. So I hope that helps. If you want more behind the scenes videos on how I did it in Wireshark, I'm going to be releasing those anyways, but feel free to ask if you want me to clarify on anything specific. But I've left this fairly generic because you can do this with any application at work today. It doesn't matter what this is, and you can actually measure the write or the read block sizes. All right, have a good day. Bye for now.